What's up, Nerdgenic Nation? Resident superhero nerd Aaron Waller here, and today I wanted to talk about the brand new DC animated movie Green Lantern Beware My Power and whether you should watch it or if you should skip it. Green Lantern Beware My Power sees recently discharged Marine sniper John Stewart at a crossroads in his life, which is only complicated by receiving an extraterrestrial ring which grants him the powers of a Green Lantern. He then must team up with fellow Justice League member and brother in Emerald, Green Arrow, to stop a war between alien races with a mystery at the center and discover his purpose and his power. Now, to be honest, I'm not necessarily the biggest Green Lantern fan. Although, with everything that they can do, realistically he probably should be one of my favorites. I mean, it's basically the most inclusive, with having various alien species being able to become a Green Lantern, plus you can have essentially infinite possibilities of what you can think up or at least will into existence with the Green Lantern ring, or Lantern's rings depending on whichever powers you may have. So the mix of variety really would make this probably my favorite character, but for some reason they just don't quite resonate with me. That being said, however, I was excited for what felt like a much needed GL adaptation, something that we haven't seen in quite some time now. In regards to voice acting for this movie, Aldis Hodge, the soon-to-be big screen adaptation of Hawkman in DC's Black Adam, most will say that he's a very flat and wooden, which I largely agree with, but for a guy who just got out of the Marines and has a ton of PTSD, I wasn't expecting a wisecracking quip machine like Hal Jordan. The real standout of the movie, however, was Green Arrow, voiced by Jimmy Simpson. This was probably one of the best Green Arrows I've seen outside of Arrow, but that's a much more serious take and this is more comic accurate. He was the exact mix of quippy and badass that you expect from a character, and Simpson's voice somehow fit really well into that. Hawkgirl, Adam Strange, Martian Manhunter, Sinestro, and others are also in the movie, but are more or less very generic, and no one really stood out to me. But what I did find interesting was DC's use of minor characters that they've been playing up for years popping up randomly in this movie, like Adam Strange and Vixen, both of whom had a short web series and or short film on a DC showcase. Maybe DC's actually up to something in using these characters properly outside of DC showcase. They would never. In terms of story, it's probably the weakest aspect of the film. It tries to take a grand story and smash it into less than 90 minutes, which is pretty near impossible. It also makes some strange decisions in smashing multiple Green Lantern stories into Stewart's story, likely to make him more relatable, and they also make the odd choice with the ring by making it talk and be more sentient. My understanding of the rings is that they're more like a tool in which the Lanterns are able to use to manifest their abilities, whether that be the will, the fear, or whatever version of Lantern you're talking about. Whereas this one, it kind of made it seem like they're more like the partner of the Lanterns, which is kind of weird. It's a lot more sentient, and also somehow is like also a historical record, a supercomputer, a computer hacker, and it's basically like Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And there's also this supposed war going on in Ultimate Twist, which again, it tried to go too big here, so when you stop and think about how the dots connect, they really don't. And despite the earlier mystery being kind of interesting, it still ends up falling flat to an almost non-villain, and to me that almost feels kind of pointless. Though an area that the movie did shine a bit, and this is no real surprise here, was with the animation. The Lantern powers felt fairly decent, and all of the action, when there was some, was pretty spectacular. But that's something that DC already does pretty well, so take that as you will. Overall, Green Lantern Beware My Power is underwhelming. It tries to tell a story that's too complex and involves too many characters that simply pull away from John Stewart, the title character's journey. And though it does have its moments, for the most part it just doesn't have what it takes to get out of its own way. And for that reason, I'm going to give Green Lantern Beware My Power a 5 out of 10. Now, based on the upcoming DC animated movies recently announced at San Diego Comic-Con, I do have some hope that things will continue to look up. After a very rough season from DC animated movies, I didn't really like the majority of them. I don't think I realistically gave any of them maybe a 6 or above on any of them. So it's really going to be tough, but I'm hoping that things are going to continue to get better. We're hopefully going to move into some more original stories, involve some more staple characters that are actually going to have some fun. We're going to finally have a return of a Justice League movie and a Batman movie and a couple of other things that I'm really looking forward to. So hopefully they'll turn it around back to their former glory, but I'm also not going to hold my breath. But now I want to hear from you in the Nerdgenic community. Have you seen Green Lantern Beware My Power? If so, what would you give it out of 10? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section down below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on any videos from me or the rest of the Nerdgenic team. And also be sure to give us a like and follow across all social media platforms at Nerdgenic. That way you don't miss out on any special news, announcements, or articles at nerdgenic.com. But if you're so inclined to want to see even more videos of us, check out these videos on screen, like my recent video talking about the biggest winners and losers of San Diego Comic-Con 2022 right over here, or if you want some more DC content, check out this playlist right over here. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you in the next video.